Welcome to my presentation. It's titled Meshed Realities, New Demands on Consumers, Brands, and Media Management in the Metaverse. I'm a senior trend strategist and brand futurist at Mintel. I provide futuristic opinions and perspectives on trends and how they impact the brand landscape. And I work with C-level and strategy teams to help them futurecast their businesses. I have an academic background, and as a brand futurist, my approach to futurism is hand in hand with strategy and strategic planning. You can download this presentation at this link. I'm sending the link with the deck, and this is a recorded session, and I will be online at the actual time, in real time, to answer some questions through chat. So shoot me your questions, and we will be discussing together what this topic means for you and for your company. Our ecosystem of reality is changing. The new ecosystem of reality is composed of hybrid, mixed, layered, and multiple realities that are fluid, porous, and non-referential. The existing lexicon in the marketplace to explain this new ecosystem of reality is very much product-centered. It emphasizes what the product does to the reality, how the goggles, for example, change the reality. We are more focused on the technological capabilities of these products about reality. And all the terms we use are all manifestations of this product-centered approach. Does product-centered approach lend itself to fully understand the new demands on consumers, brands, and media management in these new realities? Are consumers really interested in the technological capabilities of the products, or how those technologies change or shape or alter the reality? Or are they more focused on their own experiences of this reality, and how does the reality for them change? So these new technologies in this ecosystem change, shape, and alter consumers' experiences of reality in several ways. They might add and enhance consumers' experiences of reality, consumers' reality, or they might remove some elements from consumers' physical reality to diminish it. Or somewhere in between, they might filter the reality for a specific use. For example, you hear someone talking in a very noisy environment, filtered reality like beamforming. So to challenge the proliferated product-centered approaches and to bring the discussion around the consumer and the important question about how the consumer's experiences of reality changes, we introduce a new consumer-centric approach and a new concept of meshed realities to refer to this new ecosystem of reality. Meshed realities is an umbrella, a master term to refer to these new forms and manifestations of reality in this new ecosystem, in this dynamic ecosystem, not necessarily around the product, but about the consumer. Meshed realities refers to these contemporary consumer realities, and the contemporary consumer realities will be composed of layered, augmented, virtual, and physical story worlds and mesh of human and non-human agents. So consumers, when they enter these new realities, they will pick and choose, patch and stitch several of these story worlds with different manifestations of reality together to create an experience for themselves. The directions that they look on their phone might be a layer in front of them as a virtual layer, especially after 5G, we will see these special layering intensifying and becoming more common, or if they are in the market for a house, they might see the selling prices of some houses in front of their vision, or their weather for their city, or the specials for their neighborhood cafe. So it's not what the product does, but how the consumer patches and stitches these realities, these different augmented, virtual, and physical realities to each other, and mash them together to create a consumer experience is important. And we call this a mashed reality. You might ask two questions here. The first question is, Behice, why do we need a mashed reality? Why do we need a consumer-centered approach? And the second question you might ask is, why put the consumer in the center? Why is the consumer the subject? Metaverse, or however you want to call it, Oasis, Live Map, Mirror World, Shadow World, however you want to call it, is a product-centered approach to this new ecosystem of reality. It explains the nature of the reality. On the other hand, mesh reality is the same side, the different side of the same coin, looking at how the consumer experiences that reality. So however you want to define, the definition of metaverse is beyond the presentation of this, beyond this presentation. But generally, when we talk about metaverse, however you want to call it, we talk about collective, shared, convergent, multiple story worlds, multiple technologies, and a persistent reality. But this reality is not necessarily experienced, or will not necessarily be experienced similarly by every consumer. The consumer side, the experience is not around the product like Oculus Rift. We are talking about an experience around a product like an Oculus, or HoloLens or Magic Leap. But the experience is within, around, and about these realities that consumers live. And consumers enter these metaverses through multiple screens, and depending on their screens, and depending on the randomness of the journey within these metaverses, the meshed reality, consumers' experiences of reality, is different from each other. Gucci's Roblox experience, the avatar goes as a blank slate, or starts as a blank slate to that experience, and goes all the way through random and different various paths, and comes to the other side of the game as in different patterns, depending on which rooms they have visited in the game, in the Roblox game, in the metaverse. So it's not only about how these worlds are built, it's also about how we consume those worlds, and the metaverse and the definitions and the concepts around metaverse does not lend itself fully to understand these new demands of consumption, the new changing forms of consumption. And every consumption will be, especially with the contextualized AI, the metaverse experience will be very contextualized and personalized. Again, we're not looking at this if we keep using these definitions. So I'm here to deliver a strategic thinking message about the metaverse so that we can talk more strategically about consumers, brands, and media management. And we can go beyond these 4P, tactical level 4P discussions about metaverse. And another important thing is I'm here to deliver a different strategic thinking approach other than the dominant product-centered one, because if we keep the product-centered one, our only way of marketing these realities will be about pushing these products onto the consumers and convincing them to use more, to buy more. Rather, the consumer-centric approach will help us to design experiences that resonate with the consumer more, understanding the bottlenecks, frictions, and desires of the consumers and adoption. So I will explain this meshed realities and how they put new demands on consumers and consumption in the first section, brands and business models in the second section, storytelling and media management in the third section. The first one is consumers and consumption. The digital transformation era has phases. The first phase of digital transformation era was about digitizing information. We took everything that was printed and put it on websites. And that was in late 90s. And the second digital transformation era was about digitizing social relations. And we understood what it means to be digitally social hype of social media. And the third phase of digital transformation era has started and will be about digitizing experiences. We're completing the second phase of digital transformation, especially with the pandemic. We're onboarding the laggards to this digital transformation second phase. And we're going to the third phase, which will be about digitizing experiences and will be mainly dominated by VR and AR experiences. The second phase, it's not the first time we're mediating. The second phase has also helped us mediate our experiences through technology, especially with the mobile. The second phase, digitizing social relations, we know how it will be. So it's not the first time. VR is not the first point in time we'll be digitizing entertainment or experiences through technology. But this time, the experiences are a little different because we will have experience without limits. So my slides are designed accordingly. Left side, not shaded side, looks at the product-centered discussions. And the right side, which is the shaded side, provides some strategic topics and questions and concepts for us to think about this new realities from a consumer-centric approach. The experience without limits, the new type of experiences, will be beyond affordability, capability, and doability. So these are especially with the 5G, we will see these more. And at this point, the entry point for these experience without limits is gaming. But it will go beyond gaming and it will go to new spaces like work, health, fitness, and community. But it's not what these experiences do or how are they designed, but what is the consumer-centric approach that we should be looking at in these experiences? The reality, our relationship with the references, or we are losing our references to the reality, the physical reality. And on the other hand, we're seeing the friction on the photorealistic designs in VR and AR solutions. So consumers changing relationship with reality will also shape their satisfaction and experiences of these realities. It's important. And normally in the marketplace, when we design an experience, maybe we only take the consumer as an object. But in these AR and VR environments, the consumer can be the co-creator of space, and experiences become the subject. They immerse themselves and they change the dynamics of these experiences. So it's important. And another friction point and another important experience dimension is about what are the nature of these experiences in these new ecosystems of reality, in these meshed realities. When I look at most of the presentations, especially in AR and VR, many people think about marketing ends to define the presentations like activation, AR, VR done for activation, AR done for selling, or AR and VR done for storytelling or packaging. So these are one ways, but when I look at it, one of the important things for me about consumer experiences, about experiences without limits, is Translate versus transform experiences. Transform experiences put you into an identity of someone else. This is experience beyond limits. You can be a tree. You can be a cell near a heart. So you transform your identity either to an object or to another living being, human or non-human. Translated experiences, on the other hand, translate the physical reality into a photorealistic and an empathetic meshed reality, where the consumers become active creators in this. And these two types of experiences are great experiences to understand the new demands on consumers. And in the marketplace, in the existing marketplace, we have two versions of the consumer, either the digital persona or the physical persona, right? So but in the meshed realities, the human socialite is evolving. The humans will represent themselves. The human socialites will have different representations of the human. We will have our digital avatar versions. We will have our digital selves, VR and AR selves. And not only that, we will have our holograms, and we will maybe create replicas of our selves, either looking like us or not looking us, digital humans. Everybody's talking about these new socialites, right? So we will be, the consumer socialite is also increasing. But we shouldn't be only focused on these different forms of representation and the technological capabilities of those, but we should also focus on the fluidity and the multiplicity of the identity. Will consumers have the same identity? What will be the bottlenecks? How will they manage this? What will be the forms of self-governance? What will be the dissonances of consumers around these new socialite? And we are seeing a diversity becoming a problem and a solution at the same time, because we will see very decentralized diversity representations and manifestations. Who can cross? If like the racial, ethnical, and religious, or any form of diversity might be gender expressions, immigration, however you call diversity, will be very much decentralized across these new story worlds and across the metaverse. So the regulation, the policies, and bottlenecks and the expressions will be proliferated as well as problematized. And we are going into a new beauty paradigm. That's how I see. I have a presentation on the future of beauty, and I would very much to tell more about that if you reach out to me through the link and through the link. And we are disembodying our beauty, taking it out of our body and putting it into a digital form, into a new representation. All of these top three are about how we will govern our body, how will we govern our identity, how will the consumers govern the diversity. So these are the important issues about consumers and as we go into the metaverse. And on top of that, we will not be only different representations of ourselves, and the marketplace will not be only two consumers being in the same physical place and making a transaction, or consumer and the producer being in the same place and making a transaction, but it will be also about coexistence. Digital civilization will expand with the addition of other non-human smart agents like bots, robots, AIs. So in these meshed realities, we will have different representations of ourselves as humans in these new ecosystems of reality, but we will also have other agents, non-human smart agents. So the other non-human agents that are in our lives, like Alexa, that's only one modality, like the voice, will have different representations and multimodal representations of themselves, probably a hologram or a digital avatar. We will coexist and we will help each other to do what we do best as we navigate through these realities. Here, everyone focuses on like the AI bot, contextualized AI bot, but I want to bring another important discussion here about consumer journey design in the digital civilization. It's not about you have a digital human like Leah in 5G lab, Verizon's 5G lab. The problem is how many times you will touch the consumer with Leah, with the non-human smart agent, smart non-human agent, and which some consumers, even in metaverse, consumers are not always, do not always desire to be touched by the smart non-human agents. They have preferences, and they have a limit how many times they want to be touched. So this is an important, the consumer journey design. Where will the metaverse come? How many times we will touch the consumer with the non-human smart agent is an important strategic question. And of course, as we're going through this, also the human exceptionalism, that the human premium is always behind, like on our desks, like how can we protect the human rights? How can we protect the human privacy? How can we protect the consumers' ethics? All of those are becoming important. And agency and ethics will become not only on the human side, on the AI side, on the robot side, on the reality side, will be important in the metaverses as the human and machine interaction changes shape, changes paradigm, like in the case of these new ecosystems of reality. The third and very important subtitle is brands and business models. Second, I'm sorry. So market is a place where consumers and sellers and buyers come together and make transactions, marketing transactions. This is changing because everything about this marketplace is changing. Brands are changing, the marketplace is changing. This is from Burning Man and new VR and AR. We have a new understanding of value and new assets in this marketplace. We create heavens in Ready Player One. We create digital personas, we transact digital assets, it might be NFTs or it might be real estate, and we create virtual value where we use cryptocurrency to redeem it. Yes, these are all happening, but we're so tech fetish, we're so product fetish about the new capabilities of these technologies. We're really leaving very important strategic questions on the table about how we design these, how we navigate through these new mesh realities. One of the important things, and one of my observations is, we still look at these worlds from a very dystopian or a utopian point of view, but still separate worlds. Our VR worlds, our virtual worlds are still very disconnected, disjointed from our physical world. Some of it is due to mixed reality solutions are not that mainstream yet. Yes, but I will give you another example. We went into pandemic and many events have a VR or AR solution. Say Lollapalooza, say Burning Man. Burning Man doesn't know how the VR and AR solution will cannibalize its real Black Rock experience, or how will it dilute its meanings? How should they price it? Or how should they promote it? Then we still don't know. We still, as brand managers, deem these as separate worlds, and we don't know how they will impact, shape, or hurt each other, because we're still very much focused on the NFTs and what they're capable of and how they're made. And the flows in between these story worlds, not only physical to virtual, but also among the metaverse about interoperability, is also a very, very important marketing question. And another important item and line in this subtitle is new business models and new economies. We are seeing new economics, new economic principles are developed. Yes, on one side, we have new currencies like crypto or new solutions like decentralized solutions like blockchain. We have new marketplaces like NFT where we sell NFT marketplaces. But we should be more focused on how can we understand the new business models. How is the avatar have an agency? On what form? Until when? Will you translate all your rights, all your privacies to your avatar? In which worlds and when? What is it? How can we translate to peer-to-peer solutions to the metaverse? And machine to machine. So it will, as I said, in these meshed realities, we will not be only human agents. It will be smart non-human agents, which we will, maybe our Alexa will talk to your Alexa and will talk to each other. Or my Alexa will talk to Whole Foods and order something. Or my Alexa will talk to Gucci and buy something. My Alexa or my Siri will talk to an airline Siri and will check me in. So we still don't know these new business models and the new economies. We are seeing a big ecosystem strategy about Apple or bigger companies creating these bigger worlds and like Roblox or Epic Games. But what might be some counter moves for smaller brands, D2C brands in the metaverse? So a lot of important questions are still on the table. The third section is about storytelling and media management, which is very important. The first one is about brand building, the questions, the set of questions. What will be the brand identities in the metaverse? This is about the company side. If I want to create a metaverse brand, or if I want to have my brand, say a luxury brand like Gucci, how can I take it to metaverse and create a brand identity? What will be the visual? What will be the audio identity? Right? Because metaverse is a multi-sensorial and multimodal place. So we will have multiple senses of humans that we need to translate to these new ecosystems of reality where consumers interact with the brands on a very multimodal basis, right? So this is the Sky to City metaverse solution. And these worlds, how it's not only how you create a brand identity, how you can create a complex world. For example, for Fortnite, for Roblox, how can you create these worlds that cannot be consumed in one media, but multiple media, like a boundaryless system, and have a good storytelling for that? And if necessary, you tease them out and use it in different story worlds as well. And another strategic question is for Travis Scott, for other brands, like some of the Hollywood movies are now launched on the metaverse, Roblox, or other places. So how can a brand embed its storytelling into these new metaverses? And I have also a paper about that that's coming up. We're using AR right now for brands. I can hear you say that. And we're not only using it for creativity, like because it looks nice, because it's fun to do. We're not only using it for games. You all know, I don't want to preach to a crowd that is futurist by definition. So we're using it for even competitive projects like Burger King burning the McDonald's billboard and giving you a coupon for the Whopper. So that's very competitive, playful, competitive. Or for very mundane tasks, marketing tasks, such as IKEA. If you want to buy a couch, IKEA helps you to pick a couch that fits with your living room. But AR is still an on-demand and sometimes on storytelling touch point, single touch point. And in omnichannel marketing, the single touch point is where you deliver the story and you take the story across touch points. That's omnichannel marketing. But the new media management in metaverse will not be about omnichannel marketing. The new metaverse-friendly The new metaverse-friendly models will demand brands to deliver contextualized and consolidated stories at a single touch point. This is how your couch shopping would look like. Jane, who is in the market for a couch, will take her phone right now, or in the future, the goggles, we'll put on the goggles, and will project the hologram of the couch that she likes from IKEA into her living room. And at that point, Jane will probably want to access the Pinterest board she has created, learn more about the fabric of the couch, and maybe the sustainability practices of the supply chain the couches produce. IKEA should be ready to deliver all these layered information, consolidate them at a single touch, consolidate them and deliver it at a single touch point, which is the projection of the phone. This is not omni-channel storytelling. This is a consolidated and contextualized storytelling delivered through a single touch point rather than a story taken across multiple touch points. A fragmented story taken across touch points. And another change in brand storytelling will be about how we will bridge online and offline. The new ecosystem of reality will create transient market opportunities that marketers will need to understand and demand, and will need to understand the demand and deliver services in real time. Let me give you an example. When you put your foot in the Whole Foods store, Whole Foods will know that you're gluten-free. And then it will flash all these products on the shelves that are gluten-free to you. And you cannot decide. You go back and forth, back and forth. The 360 video understands that you cannot decide and send you a chat or send you a chatbot in front of your vision, or maybe a voice assistant to help you decide. If the Whole Foods cannot detect, analyze, make sense of that data in real time, if cannot act on that data in real time, that demand is gone. That demand that you're trying to make while you're trying to make a decision will be gone. So the brand storytelling should be also about understanding these transient opportunities and delivering a real-time personalization. The new media management will be proactive, personalized, contextualized, multi-leveled, social, real-time, with low friction, intuitive, and adaptable. Thank you very much. Have a great end of your day.